let's start. So firstly, thank you for joining, especially the people that are coming back. So welcome to the Cindy Show. And for those who have not joined, it's good to have you here. The Cindy Show is a bi-weekly learning series designed for an exclusive group of customers. And each 1 hour session is hosted live by myself. I'm Cindy Civan. I'm the Director of Customer Success at SysAid. And I'm here to bring you expert tips, best practices, and support you with the live Q&A to help you level up your SysAid experience. So today, I'm truly thrilled to introduce my special guest for today's show. Why is Ilan Farhi my special guest? Because Ilan is the one who hired me at SysAid over 8 years ago. So Ilan and I go back a long way. And some of you may know Ilan from his many years as our VP of Customer Experience, where he built our global customer care team and our professional services team. And Ilan has been at the center of countless customer journeys, challenges, wins, transformations, and so forth. Today, Ilan is VP of Strategic Programs and Customer Relations, and he brings expertise, clarity, honesty to every conversation. And that's exactly why I'm excited to have Ilan on here today. And today we're going to do a dive into a real open conversation, moving to the cloud. We're going to talk about opportunities, realities, and everything. And that is the reason why I have asked Ilan to join us. So welcome, Ilan. Thank you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Cindy. First, thank you for the warm introduction. You know, I heard so much about your show, and I'm kind of offended that it took you so long to invite me to this show. So thank you very much. Yeah, I've been with SysAid for not almost, but exactly 10 years actually. Like you said, came from the worlds of customer experience. Before SysAid, I was actually an IT manager in a large hospital. And throughout my journey in SysAid, been working a lot with customers on projects such as cloud migrations, but also other projects. It's truly a great opportunity to share some of our experience in moving our customers into the cloud and what kind of benefits they can get from that. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Ilan. And yes, I am deeply sorry that I am inviting you so late to the show. Thank you. Okay, so just a little bit of housekeeping. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat section at any time. My team will assist you in answering them. Myself and Ilan will also try to get to them during the session as well. And if at any time you would like to set up a meeting with my team, if you want to book a meeting, Ella, could you please share the link below? If you'd like to book a meeting with any of our account managers, please use the booking link below in the bottom of the chat. And as always, I will be adding a few polls through the session, and I'd greatly appreciate your feedback. And a special thank you to my team, who are our chat moderators, for supporting us through the session. And of course, to all of you who have taken the time in your day to be here, I appreciate it. And I know how busy things get. Okay, so let's get to our first poll. And the first poll that I would like to ask all of you to participate in, please, is, Ella, if you could please launch it, is what is preventing you from moving to the cloud? What is preventing you from moving to the cloud? And I'll give you a minute or two to answer. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually share some of your answers before we end the poll. We'll share some of your answers because we'll probably tie it back to the conversation that Ilan and I are going to have today. So please, yeah, I don't see many of you writing. Maybe it's taking a little bit of time, but it's okay. We've still got another 30 seconds or so. There we go. There are some answers, and if if you don't know if there's anything that's specifically bothering you about why you're not moving to the cloud, seriously, you're in a safe space and you can always type your answers. Okay, we will give it just another 10 more seconds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the poll, and I want to actually share some of the results. View the details. Here we go. Mostly moved over to the cloud, but certain sites require on-prem services, security, and compliance. Prashant, thank you so much for being honest and mentioning security and compliance. It's actually one of the things that Ilan and I are going to cover today. Bandwidth dedicated to other projects. Okay. Already in the space is loving it and nothing. Okay, great. So this is so far the feedback that we have obviously received. And thank you for those that participated. Okay, so I think let's start off. Ilan and I'm going to be asking you questions, Ilan, as you know, and I guess let's begin. And we're not going to have a long slide deck. There's just one or two slides that I do want to share as always. So, Ilan, I guess my first question for you is, what are the drivers that customers want to move to the cloud?
So, Cindy, as you know, the cloud it's a buzzword that has been around for a while now, and along the years there have been several drivers, but I think that during the last 2 years or so, it's become very clear that the agility and speed of innovation is in the heart of it. It's in the heart of why we encourage moving to the cloud. Um, the pace of driving new features, new AI enhancements, and doing it automatically, seamless with no downtime. And on top of it, the fact that our SysAid Cloud is based on AWS infrastructure, it allows us to scale automatically. So we don't have to worry about new demands, new teams. We just keep staying responsive to changes, and we don't really overload our IT teams in demands for growing infrastructure. So that will be my first driver. The second one is higher productivity. Again, it's connected to the fact that as a managed service, it allows the IT teams to focus on what matters most, and that's servicing the end users, making sure that they deliver IT services in a timely manner without taking care of physical servers, of patching. They are not firefighting hardware issues. They are focusing on improving their services. The third driver, again, it's kind of obvious, but we have to mention it: cost efficiency, right? Again, IT teams don't have to worry about physical servers, about cooling system, about data centers. Operational costs are being eliminated, and all hardware lifecycle management of server just disappears from the equation. I'm gonna skip resilience and security because, like you said, we're gonna mention it later. Obviously, it's a great factor. It's a huge factor, and we're gonna touch on it in a bit. I want to speak about AI and scalability. We are in an amazing era. Okay, AI agents are continuously being developed and continuously being helping us to transform the way we deliver IT. And in our cloud environment, we're able to deliver it almost instantly. So we are delivering more AI more frequently, and we are allowing the IT team to scale up without investing in headcounts. And this is just an amazing, amazing era to live in, where you can manage, you can serve more people, more end users without investing in headcounts. And the last one is a driver that I actually really identify with. I think most people these days are they're expect to have a modern environment. They're expect to be to have accessibility to modern tools. And in SysAid Cloud, you get to deliver that to your end users. IT is evolving, end users expecting quick responses, self-service, support that is always on, and cloud delivery makes that possible.
Amazing.
Those are the
Ilan,
drivers that I'm focusing it, at least. I'm sure that our customers have some more drivers. I would love to hear them in our chat.
absolutely. Thanks, Ilan. If anyone else has other drivers that they might think is reasons, as Ilan said, please post them in the chat and type away. In the meantime, though, Ilan, if I can just share another slide with you, could you walk us through what the SysAid Cloud has compared to being on-prem? In other words, why cloud? Why is cloud so much better than on-prem? What are the benefits and so forth?
Yeah, so the ones that were attending your show in the past, I'm sure you already spoke about some of the items here, but we see it as an upside pyramid, where everything is standing on our cloud hosted delivery, but I actually want to start at the top. At the top, we have the Spaces interface. You've probably seen it before. Those who still didn't see it, please book a demo. It's an interface that allows your IT team to work in a clean environment, one workspace, queues, filters, journey, amazing productivity at the tip of your hands. Afterwards, we have the SysAid Copilot. Our built-in AI handles everyday cognitive work, auto-categorizing tickets, summarizing tickets, detecting sentiment, supporting the admins and supporting the end users. Next is our AI agents. So what's the difference between AI agents and SysAid Copilot, you must ask? So our AI agents are more task specific. They are autonomous. Again, they can categorize, they can assign, they can resolve, but they can also take action on routine service work. So for example, password reset, right? So your AI agents can automatically reset password for your end users. You don't have to be even involved in the process. It's replacing a human admin in the everyday repetitive work and allowing other admins to focus on what's important. Next, we have our recently released integration engine, what we also call the SysAid Connect. It automates integrations between HR, finance, DevOps, other collaboration tools with very, very little code, almost none. And afterwards, we have the license and asset management intelligence. Again, it's a fresh feature that we have, giving you real-time visibility into usage, compliance, and life cycles with assets that are tied directly to service records. And at the very bottom, we have the cloud-hosted delivery, fully managed SaaS foundation, no servers, no upgrades, and effortless scalability. All those layered together, complete modern IT service platform that is built for agility, built for automation, and continuous innovation, Cindy.
Thanks, Ilan. It brings me back to the days when I was in professional services and when you were managing me, and we did a lot of integrations, which were always custom development projects and so forth. So this SysAid Connect, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know it's a new product. is something that will take those custom developments away?
It will allow to do them with almost no code. It will allow anyone that has a little bit of understanding in SysAid Connect to create amazing integration by themselves, and by that creating collaboration between SysAid and other platforms, which is amazing. It's amazing for productivity.
Amazing. So as long as there's an open API, that's how it works, and
Yep,
can pretty much integrate with I'm saying most types of products, right?
exactly.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for walking us through the slide, Ilan. I'm going to stop sharing, and everyone's going to get to look at us face to face now, not the screen. And of course, if anyone's got any questions, I don't see any questions in the chat yet, which is interesting, because I know sometimes there are some questions by now. So feel free. We're also probably going to get to answering a lot of your questions that you probably even have. Okay, so just to carry on the conversation. So Ilan, a lot of the times, especially the people in my team, if a customer, for example, is in the EU,
Yeah.
could they be hosted in the EU or the US? How does it work? Because I have customers that want to be hosted in the country that they're in.
So it's a great question. The way that we are spreaded, or the way that AWS is hosting us, is that we have a great geographical coverage. So SysAid Cloud data centers are distributed between the different regions. We have data centers in the EU, not just in a specific country, but all over EU. We have data centers in US East, in US West, in Canada, even in Australia. So if we spin up an environment, a fresh new environment for one of our customers, we are matching his geographical location. If they are from Europe, most likely or almost always, unless they choose differently, their new cloud environment will be in Europe.
Okay, thanks, Ilan. So let's talk about data vulnerability and so forth. I've had
Yeah.
a lot of customers in previous shows, generally over the years as well, who are nervous to move to the cloud because they feel their data is vulnerable. How can we reassure them?
So it's a misconception that on-premise servers are more secured than cloud servers. It can be more secured, but in general, they're actually not. Moving to the SysAid Cloud actually enhances your overall security posture, since SysAid Cloud is built on AWS, and it's benefiting from the same multi-layered protection used by some of the world's most secured organizations that are also relying on AWS. And it's including physical data center security, network isolation, encryption, continuous monitoring, obviously, and strict access control frameworks. And on top of that, Cindy, SysAid Cloud also enjoys AWS on compliance infrastructure, security updates, patches, vulnerability fixes. Everything is being handled immediately. So if you have an on-premise server, for example, that just needs a security patch, it doesn't have to wait to internal change management. It doesn't have to wait until it's being beta tested. Under AWS wings, you get, you get it first. You get the cloud, you get the security patches first, and everything is being monitored. So if you ask me, being on AWS cloud is covering you from almost all angles.
Amazing. Ilan, when I think it was the second Cindy show that I had, and we invited our CISO, Alex Rafe, to the show.
Mhm.
And one of the things he actually had said is that at SysAid, even though people are trying to, obviously there's always hackers trying to in every software, but SysAid to the date has never had a cloud hacking attempt that's been at all, actually. He was like, it's 100%, it has not happened. So I actually couldn't believe that, because, you think if you actually think it would be more vulnerable, I guess. So that was good to know. And I'm sure you would have been involved in that over the years if there was.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought
And
that was
and I hope the situation will remain this way, but I trust that again, due to AWS, restrictions and compliance, it's protected, and we are making sure. By the way, we are AWS partners, and together we are working to make sure that SysAid is in the front technology of that.
absolutely. Let's talk about security certifications. I know you're probably going to blurt out a whole lot of
Yeah.
different words, and that doesn't mean as much to me, but I know that there's a lot of people on the call today who it will mean something. So, what type of security certifications do we have to test this?
So we have many. Again, I'm gonna blur a lot of big words here. We have SOC 2 Type 2. We have ISO 27001, ISO 27017. We cover information security and cloud security standard. Cindy, but we also conduct, tests that some of them are independent, some of them are being done by third party. We have annual third party penetration tests. We have our own vulnerability assessment. We have regular exercises to try and see how solid is the infrastructure. We also test, our most innovative features, such as AI Copilot and Agentic AI services. We are testing them for, just to make sure that there are no data leakage. We test traditional attack vectors such as XSS, CSRF, other exposed endpoints. And like I said, we are looking at AI-specific risks, prompt injection, and model inversion.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Again, I just want to say, if anyone's got any questions in the chat, let us know, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so I'm sure someone is going to ask us questions, so I'm going to beat everyone to it. Ilan, let's talk about GDPR. Are we GDPR compliant?
Yeah, SysAid Cloud is fully supporting GDPR requirements. Customer data is processed, stored, and protected according to the strict European privacy standards. Customer can choose, obviously, like we spoke, EU-based data centers to keep the data within their region. And we also provide full support for data subject rights, such as access or correction and deletion.
Amazing. Okay. And if a customer wants to move to the cloud, what is the SysAid commitment for uptime?
It's a great question. So can you guess what is SysAid Cloud uptime, Cindy?
You know what? Let's actually have our audience guess percentage. Let's have what would everyone what do you think is you say instant, Joseph? Okay. Let's wait for some of the others. You can give a percentage, 50%, 75%, 5 nines, 99.99, 98. Interesting. Okay. 98.
So
99. Very
the
close.
person that guessed 99.9%
Perfect.
guessed it right. This is our commitment, and we actually stand in that commitment. Our commitment to our cloud customers, and we have it in our SLA contract with our clients. We commit to 99.9% of uptime for our cloud, and this is something that we meet on a regular basis.
I'm very impressed with all of the very close guesses. Thanks, Ilan. And how often are there new feature releases or product enhancements on the cloud?
So we spoke about agility a bit, and SysAid Cloud delivers new features and enhancements seamlessly every single week. Updates roll out automatically in the background. Again, no downtime, no manual installation, no effort at all from the IT managers. So compared to on-premise, it's a major advantage. Just think about it. On-premise, every time you need to install a new release, a new update, you have to plan it, you have to run change management, you have to make sure that you do it off hours. It requires downtime, it requires manual work, and it results at the end in much slower release cycle, and you don't get the new capabilities. So with SysAid Cloud, you're always on the latest, most secure, and most feature-rich version of the product.
Okay, great. Just Ilan, and maybe even if the audience wants to type in the chat as well, like a lot of customers I know would spend hours doing their on-prem version updates. Like how long, I mean, I know every customer is different. I know every database is different, but maybe it's a question for the audience or question maybe from Ilan, from your experience. How long do updates, on-premise updates usually take? Like are the people on this Zoom, are you doing it on weekends? Like how long does this usually take all of you? I'm just interested to know. And Ilan, maybe while they're typing.
It does varies, right? It's also depends on if the upgrade is have some infrastructure upgrades as well. So you need to upgrade your database or your server version. It depends, I'm assuming, on the organization and what it takes in order to run this kind of upgrade, as it has change management that needs to go through approvers and so on. But it can be hefty, But and I know that in some organization, unless there is a specific feature that they've been waiting for, they usually skip an upgrade, and then it results in doing several, you need to jump into several releases forward, and then it becomes even a more complex and more time-consuming process than what you planned.
Okay, thanks, Ilan. I see Bruce wrote, everything's possible after hours and on weekends, generally several hours to do it properly. Thanks for your feedback, Bruce. And Clifford, you've said to do it properly requires an on-premise failover, which is cost prohibitive in a public sector. So thanks for that feedback. I have a question, Ilan, from Prashant, who has asked us, while moving from on-prem to cloud, how do you typically manage and help the transition and adoption from highly customized legacy interfaces to this modern standardized service desk without disrupting established workflows?
It's a great question. It's a great question, and I think we had also a slide for it, but maybe you should, Cindy, bring up the slide of the process of moving to the cloud if you have it at hand, and we'll speak about the process for a second, because when we move to the cloud, it's a complete lift and shift. Okay, so we are taking everything that you currently have, and we are uploading into the cloud, and then you have your own environment, the same configuration, the same workflows, tickets, notifications, everything that you used to have in your on-premise server moves as is into the cloud. Now, once we move it to the cloud and we finish the process, then we can start and talk about the other possibilities on how we move the environment into the new interface of spaces. That requires a bit of hand-holding, because first we need to upgrade the infrastructure, and then, like you said, we have we can help in adoption of transitioning between old interface into our new spaces interface, and we do it by we can do it by training. We can do it by documentation or videos that we have, and we make this possible by having a dedicated team that works on moving some of our clients from the classic old interface of our on-premise to our new modern spaces environment. But again, this is the moving to the cloud option. So we start with the migration process, and then we can either go with reconfiguration, which means that we're taking your environment and adapting it to the new spaces, modern environment, and helping your end users and your admins to evolve and adapt to the new IT agentic generation. And another option, which it's an option that is always on the table, is starting from scratch. We can always, um, you know, spin a new instance of cloud, of spaces, and help you implement everything from scratch and making sure that you are aligned with ITIL best practices, you're aligned with SysAid best practices on how to implement a modern ITSM solution. And when you're ready, when you're completely ready, we are transitioning into the new environment, and we are shutting down the old premise, and everybody is working on the new spaces environment that was implemented.
Okay, amazing. Ilan, this was the slide that you were referring to. I'm not sure if it was the right slide.
Um, I was asking to see the slide of the moving to the cloud, the process.
Okay, all right. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll check to see if I've got it on hand.
Mhm.
One of the things that I do want to mention, Ilan, and I just know this from my team, is I think just to share, a lot of customers ask what's better, migration or re-implementation. I can say that we have customers that do, it's literally a 50-50 split. And we have customers who need to hold on to their previous data. And so they'll go for migration. And then we have customers that actually are very happy to start off fresh and do a brand new re-implementation, because maybe along the lines and along the years, someone else has actually done the implementation and they want to start completely fresh. So I
Mhm.
just wanted to share that. Any thoughts from your side, Ilan?
It really depends on the situation, like you said. It really depends on the situation. What we recommend usually are more veteran customers to start fresh. We realize it's a big change. Sometimes it's a huge change, but since, like you said, years gone by, and the modernization of ITSM, and the fact that over the years processes are changed, and when you're doing this kind of change of moving to the cloud, maybe you would also would like to do an inner change of looking into your internal processes, looking on the way you work, looking on your, for example, the way you categorize tickets, the way you work with your workflows, if at all, the way you manage change, the way you manage problems inside of your environment. And if you feel that it can use a change, if you feel like that it was never implemented correctly or never implemented at all, if you think that your SLA needs a bit of a brushing, then I do recommend starting from scratch. Data will always be there inside of your on-premise database, right? It won't go away. And if you need your old on-premise server just to access to review older tickets, you can still hold on to that. That's not a problem. But I think that starting from fresh in certain situation where you feel that you weren't implemented correctly, or you can use some efficiency, I think that would be the best option.
Thanks, Ilan. It's quite interesting because I'm not sure if you saw Clifford's question, because you've pretty much answered most of it. I don't know if you actually saw it.
No, I
Um,
do.
oh, okay, that's actually quite amazing. So Clifford actually wanted to know if they are already in spaces, but if an entity wanted to actually or an organization wanted to keep their on-prem installation for historical reference, can they? Which is exactly what you just answered. They can. How would that be licensed? So, Cliff, if this is what you want to do, for sure. Please be in touch with your customer success manager or your account manager. We can give you specific pricing for your on-prem, to go to maybe down to like 3 admins, which is the minimum. So it's up to you, but we do have customers that have requested this and they do keep it. So it's a really good question as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got some more questions for you, Ilan, but if we could, maybe I'm going to pause. And I'd like to launch our next poll, please, Ella. And I'd like to ask the audience, obviously, Cliff, I know that you're in SysAid Spaces. Have you seen SysAid Spaces? That's the next poll. I'd just like to understand today if you've seen SysAid Spaces. And if you've been on my previous shows, of course you would have, but not all on-premise customers come to the previous shows because they obviously can be more cloud. So it's interesting to see. Yes, a lot of you have seen SysAid Spaces, which is great. And some of you are on a no. Okay, so let's just keep it going for like another 30 seconds. And what I would suggest, to the people who answered no and who actually would like we'll post the poll a little bit later. If you'd like a customer success manager or an account manager to contact you to walk you through SysAid Spaces, of course they can. But if you haven't seen it, you're going to be wowed. It's SysAid on a whole new level. So I highly recommend for you to see it. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. Okay, so Ilan, I guess back to our questions. So what is expected from the customer? How long does this process take? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so moving to the cloud sounds like a very complex, hands-on experience, but we are first we are not looking at it as just a technical process or a technical project. We look at it as a partnership, and it's a commitment from our side to make sure that the experience is with minimal disruption for our customers' services and downtime. So we usually do it on Sundays or at off hours. And what is expected we do it in 2 cycles. So we start first with a sandbox where we test the actual upload of database. We test that the process runs well, that we don't have any challenges. And what is expected at that point from a customer is to upload their database using a very dedicated tool that we developed that actually collects the database and uploads it directly to AWS. And the only prerequisite that actually is needed is to be on the latest on-premise release, which needs to be taken care of ahead of time. So we need to upgrade to the latest on-premise release. We need to run that tool that gathers the database information and uploads it into the cloud, and we take care of the rest, right? So once the upload is completed, we send an email back to the customer with the login credentials, and the customer has the opportunity to test the sandbox to see that all the data is there, to see the configuration is working well, and everything that is expected is working. And once the tests from the customer side and from our side are completed, we're going to have a go-no-go meeting. Usually we do it, if all goes well, we can do it in 1 week. So we do on a Sunday the sandbox upload, and the following Sunday, if all goes well, we can do the production upload. So at the end of the week, we do a go-no-go meeting together with the customer. If the customer has a thumbs up for the production migration, we do it the following Sunday. And when we do the production upload, again, on-premise release must be on the latest release. and the customer will run the tool over on the weekend. You can do it on Friday, you can do it on Saturday, you can do it on Sunday, and we take care of the rest. And on Monday morning, we meet with the customer and making sure everything works as expected. And we have some post-migration action that has to be taken. For example, if the customer has an active RDS, then the URL of the server needs to be changed inside of the RDS. We are checking that all the agents are working. We're checking email integration. We're checking that all the users are inside of from the user repository and so on. But we have continuous support. Our customer care team has continuous support with the customer when they go live with the new cloud environment to make sure that there is minimal disruption and everything is working, and the admins have almost seamless transition from an on-premise server to their cloud environment.
Thanks, Ilan. So have we had any customers in the past where they've migration's been done, for example, and they've lost data, or they still have everything?
No, our process makes sure that it's a lift and shift. Everything goes. Like if you had an on-premise server with 10 gigabytes of database, then that database goes directly inside the cloud. Everything is being uploaded to the cloud, so there is no data loss. And again, our process makes sure that everything is being tested and checked, and that all the data is there, unless the customer asks us to move only 2 years of data, and this is also possible.
Okay, amazing. I see, Cliff, you've said that Spaces, another benefit that you found with Spaces was that SysAid offers a very inexpensive additional annual cost for a sandbox, which is actually a great point, and thank you for bringing this up. Unlike some of other competitors, you leverage a sandbox, especially working on workflows. Absolutely. If anyone wants to purchase sandboxes, you don't have to, in the cloud, one doesn't have to specifically wait for migration or not. It's a great way to do a lot of tests in sandboxes. So that's a great point, Cliff. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay. Any other, Ilan, have we missed anything? What else about the cloud that we haven't covered? I feel like we've covered a lot.
We covered a lot. I just want to mention that once you move to the cloud, then you have the opportunity and the option to move to Spaces. It's not a one-phased process where you move to the cloud and you are instantly on Spaces. Once you move to the cloud, we're allowing you to have a stabilization phase where you make sure that everything works correctly, that your admins have no disruptions, and after that stabilization phase, we can start talking about the switch to Spaces. The switch to Spaces, it also contains within an upgraded infrastructure that allowing all the goodies that we spoke about, including our new APIs and our enhanced AI and so on. And once you are on that upgraded infrastructure, you can have a gradual rollout to your admins into Spaces. You can start with specific groups, you can start with specific admins, and then you can reach to a point where all of your admins are working on Spaces, on our Spaces environment as default, and enjoying all the amazing AI features that we have embedded inside our Copilot, our AI agents, and obviously not just that. It's almost the end of November. We're gonna have a great 2026 full of amazing new features. We're starting to work on an amazing roadmap, and all of the things that will come on 2026 will be directed to that upgraded infrastructure, to the APIs that we're working on, to the AI So I highly recommend on being on the forefront of ITSM, being on the forefront of technology using our Spaces infrastructure.
Amazing. Makes sense, Ilan. Thank you for that. And what I would just like to do, because we do have a few more minutes left, while we've still got a little bit of time, I just wanted to just share just a few minutes. I'm going to share my screen again. It's my Spaces test account for those of you who have not seen it. There's not enough time to do a full demo, but of course, I'm going to launch a poll in just a few minutes. But this is our SysAid Spaces. This is our AI chatbot over here, where you could literally ask the chatbot, what are the most service records, or how do I merge my service records? There are so many questions you can ask the bot. The pre-built agents that Ilan was talking about in the very, very beginning when we were sharing the slide deck. We've got a ton of pre-built agents. But you can see the chatbot just helps you with any information that you may need. And again, we'll do more demos if you need us to do further demos for you. Of course, we can. But there's a lot here. There's inline editing. There is the option to see the AI emotion of your customers. Is your customer sentiment neutral? Is it negative, for example? We've got so much AI in here that it's obviously impossible to show you. But just to give you the first look of our new user interface, I'm super proud of it. SysAid is also one of the leaders in Gartner at the moment for innovation as well, which I'm super proud of. I'm glad to be part of it myself. And I guess just to bring us almost to a close is if we could launch our last poll, please, Ella. If you'd like a customer success manager or an account manager to contact you, please give it a yes or a no. And while you're doing that, what I would like to post in our chat as well, we've got an exciting few sessions. There's about 3 sessions that we're going to do in a row. We'll skip, I think, next week. I think it's because of Thanksgiving. But I'm going to share the registration link for you guys to please join some of our other shows. And I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. And yeah, if you want one of our team members to contact you, of course, let us know. Keep typing in the poll. And firstly, Ilan, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk me through the cloud process. I appreciate your time, and it's always good working together with you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and I hope it won't be too long until you invite me again to your show.
I will definitely keep that in mind. Look out on your calendar. Maybe you'll be seeing an invite sooner rather than later. And of course, to everyone who joined on this Zoom today, I appreciate it. Again, thanks for taking the time. Of course, thanks to the chat moderators. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and we'll chat again soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.